A runaway truck barrels down a hill, smashing into cars and slamming into 2 school buses and plowing into a house.
I called 911. I didn't even know what to say to them. It was that bad.
Hear from a woman who pulled her grandchildren from the path of the speeding truck.
Target 11 uncovered service records about the truck company, what the driver says happened.
New details and a story we broke first on WPXI.com. A man who used to be a doctor to the Steelers in big legal trouble. The federal charges he's facing now.
Channel 11 News starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 11 News. News coverage you can count on.
It was like chaos. It looked like somebody dropped a bomb in the middle of West End.
A runaway rig smashed into everything in its path, hitting cars and 2 school buses and sending 4 people to the hospital.
The investigation and the cleanup are still underway. The path of destruction nearly unbelievable. That truck came barreling down Green Tree Road at a high rate of speed, crashing into at least 9 other vehicles, including 2 school buses. We sent Chopper 11 out over the scene this morning and found the wreckage up and down the street. Witnesses say it was a miracle that no one was killed. We have Team 11 coverage tonight. Channel 11's Renee Kaminsky starts it all off for us. And Renee, still, there's a lot going on out there, right?
Darius, absolutely. It's kind of a complicated operation that's unfolding just behind me. We've been watching this as it proceeds throughout the day. Basically, what you're looking at, the tractor trailer now is in 2 pieces. The cab part of it is just to the left of that house there, and then the trailer part is here, and you can see the front part of that trailer has just been ripped apart, debris spilling out. They've already offloaded, though, the coil, the copper coiling that was inside. But these guys you see out here working, all these workers, the witnesses here, everyone told us today it is a miracle everyone survived.
It was like chaos. It looked like somebody dropped a bomb in the middle of West End.
Those who saw it will never forget the sound of this 14-ton runaway truck as it came screaming down Green Tree Road.
It sounded like something dropped on the ground, like steel on steel, like he said. And after that, I just saw the tractor trailer go flying by. And it was chaos after that.
Pittsburgh police investigators say the out-of-control semi struck 7 cars and 2 school buses before plowing into this home.
It was so shocking, like a movie.
Linda Witherspoon told us she and her 2 grandchildren had to jump out of the way.
I seen it coming. It was going 100 miles an hour.
Witherspoon saw the truck smash into this parked school bus, sending its driver through the windshield.
It went by me so fast I didn't even know what I was looking at.
4 people, including a child with special needs who was sitting on the smaller school bus, were hurt, but all are expected to be okay. The truck driver, 42-year-old Louis Bien, wasn't hurt, but didn't want to talk about the crash. He ducked into a cigarette store to avoid questions. Investigators spent the entire day going over the crash site, which for 3 blocks was littered with wreckage.
Just pulling up onto the scene and seeing this is, it looks like a nightmare.
Okay, the house you're looking at, that house belongs to Linda Witherspoon. She's there right now, just came up, and she's being told by building inspectors that her house is no longer fit to live in. It is not inhabitable. So she has now got to find another place to live. As for the conditions of the victims, all we know is that they are going to be okay. Reporting live tonight in the West End, I'm Renee Kaminsky, Channel 11 News.
All right, Renee, thank you. And Target 11 has been looking into the background of that truck driver. Investigator Rick Earl is live in the newsroom with some alarming details about the truck company he worked for. Rick?
Yeah, Darius, according to records I obtained from the Motor Carrier Safety Administration, 40% of the company's trucks that were inspected were actually pulled out of service for violations. Now, just a short time ago, I spoke with a representative from ABC Freight in Florida. A company spokesperson told me, quote, "We are trying to get more information. We are really sorry. He tried to stop the truck, and he said the brake didn't respond properly." That from a man who answered the phone at the company's headquarters in Florida. Now, we also did some digging into the company's safety record, and here's what we discovered. Now, during the past 2 years, 61 of the company's trucks were inspected. 25 of them were actually placed out of service for violations. That's twice as much as the national average. Now, we don't know the specific violation violations, but it could be anything from broken taillights to bad brakes. Now, during that time, 20 drivers from the company were also taken off the road for various violations. Most of the time, those violations have to do with working too many hours or failing to keep accurate logbooks. Now, on the motor carrier safety website, the company says it has 7 drivers and hauls general freight. During the past 2 years, the company had no reportable crashes. That is the very latest. Reporting live in the newsroom, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
We've been covering the big crash on Green Tree Road all day, where a runaway truck crashed into 9 cars, including 2 school buses. But that truck also hit a house where inside a woman was dressing her grandchildren for school. Channel 11's Kara Sapita has her frightening story.
We spent the day out here and heard a lot of stories that came out of this chaotic scene. One of the most compelling came from a local grandmother who says she was getting her grandkids ready for school when she saw this tractor trailer coming barreling toward her. She told me she only had seconds to get those kids out of the way before that truck crashed straight into her home.
I seen it coming. It was going 100 miles an hour, and the driver was trying to turn, but he couldn't do it. He lost control. He couldn't do nothing.
Linda Witherspoon talked to us about the moment this tractor trailer crashed into her home after smashing into 8 vehicles, 2 of them school buses.
Like a movie. It was so shocking, like a movie.
Witherspoon says she had just seconds to get her grandchildren out of the doorway and out of the truck's path.
And they're screaming, they're screaming, they're screaming. So I grabs them, I goes in.
This is one of the 2 school buses the truck smashed into. It was empty except for the bus driver. She had just dropped off students and was waiting to pick up more kids when out of nowhere the truck crashed into the bus, sending her straight through the windshield.
My mom said she heard her hit the house, like her handprints in the house. But I know her, I grew up with her.
She flew from the school bus right in front of my house. So I'm trying to help her out, and she's screaming, I'm gonna die. I said, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay.
She was rushed to Allegheny General Hospital in critical condition and is going to be okay. Everyone is, according to police, which is a relief to everyone who looked at this scene and assumed the worst.
It was scary because I cried all the way down here. I cried all the way down, but I'm just so happy everybody's safe.
Reporting in the West End, Kara Sapita, Channel 11 News.
Investigators tell us it's a miracle nobody was killed after a runaway truck crashed into cars, school buses, and even a house this morning in the West End. Renee Kaminsky live tonight as investigators are still trying to clean it all up. Renee?
Darius, we know because we've been standing here watching this all afternoon. Getting the wreckage out of here is not easy or fast. Over the last hour since my last report at 5, the tow truck crews have been working to stabilize the trailer there you see that was ripped apart there in the front. They've got to stabilize it before they put it on that flatbed trailer and haul it away. Now you can see the cab part of the trailer that is sitting behind the house that it plowed into this morning. One thing that everyone is taking away from this, though, it is miraculous it wasn't worse.
It is a miracle. It really is.
Everyone who watched in horror as this 14-ton runaway truck barreled out of control through the West End told us they were amazed no one was killed.
It was so loud, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was horrible.
Witnesses who weren't scrambling to get out of the way saw the truck smash into 7 cars, 2 school buses, before crashing into a house with children inside.
It was going 100 miles an hour.
Linda Witherspoon was inside that house, and after making sure her grandchildren were okay, she ran to help the driver of this parked school bus, who was thrown through the windshield.
She's screaming, I'm gonna die. I said, you're gonna be okay.
He was laying with his head under the plow.
Tony Lutz ran to help a man who was thrown out of his car.
Just so worried he wasn't going to make it. And I promised him he wouldn't.
A total of 4 victims went to the hospital, including a special needs child who was sitting in this small school bus. They're all expected to be okay.
Sorry.
The truck driver, 42-year-old Louis Spien, would not talk about the crash or answer my questions. So far, he has not been charged.
He should have been coming off that hill at all. At all. That's a big hill.
Okay, Linda Witherspoon is walking now with a friend. You see her there in the black hoodie. She was just told her house is not safe tonight. It was rocked off its foundation by the impact. Now, an update on the bus driver who was ejected. I'm told by one of her friends that she's up, she's talking, she has bruises and broken bones, but she's in good spirits because she's going to be okay. Reporting live tonight in the West End, I'm Renee Kaminsky, Channel 11 News.